Exactly between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. this past week, you woke up with a heaviness in your chest that doctors can't explain. You felt a sudden crushing urge to just give up. You thought it was just depression or exhaustion. No, that was the ops launching a final spiritual attack to take you out before your glow-up. Death tried to enforce its protocol on you, but God stepped in and said, "Not this one. You've been fighting in the trenches for years, feeling like the black sheep, but your refusal to fold forced a cosmic system update. You are the outlier, the fourth soul in 6,000 years to unlock this level of protection. What the enemy meant for your destruction, God is turning into your divine immunity. This is your vindication season. In this video, I will reveal why you are still standing when everyone else would have fallen. You know, I know you know. There is a specific heaviness that comes right before the breakthrough. It does not feel like excitement. It does not feel like joy. Not yet, it feels like pressure. We are going to talk about the 3 tests of the soul. These are the exams you did not study for. These are the tests life handed you when you were just trying to be a good person, when you were just trying to keep the peace. But you passed them. You are still here. And that is why we are having this conversation. Let's go back to that night. You remember it. Or maybe it was a season of nights. It is between 2 in the morning and 5 in the morning. The rest of the world is asleep. The house is quiet, too quiet. But your mind is a battlefield. This is what we call the trenches. You are lying there. Or maybe you are sitting in that old chair in the living room, the one by the window. You are staring into the dark, and you are replaying the moment everything fell apart. Maybe it was the text message you found, the betrayal from a husband you stood by for 30 years. Maybe it was the phone call from a child you poured your life into, a child who suddenly decided you were the enemy. Or maybe it was the bank account hitting 0 after you gave everything you had to help someone else. That was your tower moment. Most people, let me tell you about most people, when they get hit that hard, they run, they find a bottle, they find a pill, they find a distraction, they turn into NPCs, they just drift through life because the pain is too much to feel. They check out. But you did not run. You sat in that chair. You let the tears fall until your chest ached. You felt every single ounce of that betrayal. You felt the grief wash over you like a cold ocean. Listen to me closely. That was not a weakness. That was shadow work. You were doing the heavy lifting right there in your bedroom. While everyone else was numbing the pain, you faced it. You looked the devil in the eye and you said, "Do your worst. I am still here." You were undergoing a massive system update. God was rewiring you. He was stripping away the old version of you that tried to please everyone, the version of you that apologized for taking up space. That version had to die so the warrior could be born. You thought you were breaking down. No, you were waking up. You were realizing that the people you were crying over were energy vampires. They drained you dry. They took your light. They took your kindness, and they left you empty. But in that silence, in that dark hour of the soul, you reclaimed your energy. You started to realize that you are the outlier. You are the one who feels things deeply. You are the one who carries the burden for the whole family. That night was the first test, and you passed. You survived the collapse. You turned your pain into a spiritual asset. You didn't know it then, but that was level up number 1. Then came the second test. This one was trickier. This one wasn't about pain. It was about integrity. It was the choice between what was easy and what was right. You stood at a crossroads. On one side, there was comfort. Maybe it was staying in a marriage that was destroying your soul, but it paid the bills. It kept up appearances at church. It kept the neighbors from whispering. On the other side, there was the wilderness, the unknown. This is where the Matrix agents came in. You know who I mean. The family members, the so-called friends, the people who told you to just hush, to just sweep it under the rug, to just forgive. and forget for the 100th time. They acted like gatekeepers. They wanted to keep you in your place. They wanted to keep you in the cycle of abuse because your silence made them comfortable. But something in you shifted. Call it a timeline shift. You looked at the security, you looked at the money, you looked at the fake peace, and you said, no. You chose the hard road. You chose dignity. You chose truth. You decided to walk away from the toxicity, even if it meant walking alone, even if it meant eating peanut butter sandwiches for dinner, even if it meant being the bad guy in their story. This right here. This is the definition of a high-value individual. A high-value woman does not sell her soul for a comfortable retirement. She does not trade her peace for a fake smile. You proved you have the Sigma mindset. I know that sounds like a modern word, but the spirit of it is ancient. It means you are willing to walk alone rather than walk with a pack of wolves. It means you answer to God, not to the opinions of people who don't pay your bills. You broke the pattern. You became the curse breaker. And I know it cost you. I know you lost friends. I know your circle got very small. You looked around and realized your inner circle was just you and Jesus. But let me tell you something. That space around you, that is not loneliness. That is divine immunity. God cleared the room. He removed the snakes. He removed the fakes. He removed the people who were secretly praying for your downfall. He gave you a quantum leap out of that toxic environment. You felt like you lost everything, but really, you were just shaking off the dead weight. You proved you possess a top 1% mindset, because 99% of people would have stayed. They would have stayed in the house. They would have stayed for the image. They would have stayed because they were scared. You were scared too. But you moved anyway. That is the test. That is the victory. And then, just when you thought the worst was over, the third test arrived. This is the test of endurance. This is pressure testing. This is the season when you are tired, bone tired. You did the right thing. You left the toxic situation. You prayed, you fasted, you waited, and nothing happened. The breakthrough didn't come immediately. The bank account didn't magically fill up. The apology you deserved never came. In fact, the attacks got worse. This is where the ops stepped up their game. The enemy saw that you were still standing, so he tried to wear you out. This is the day you had every right to quit. The world looked at you and said, you are too old to start over. It is too late for you. Just give up. Just be bitter. Just sit down and accept your defeat. Your body aches. The grief sits heavily on your shoulders. The silence of the phone is deafening. But then, something miraculous happened. You got up, you washed your face, you made your coffee, and you took one more step. You did not do it for applause. There was no audience. You did not do it for money. You did not do it because you felt strong. You did it because your spirit literally does not know how to die. This was the moment death paused. It looked at you with confusion. It realized you are built different. You possess main character energy, not in an arrogant way, but in a holy way. You realize that this is your story, and the story is not over until God says it is over. You have a fire inside you that the world did not give, and the world cannot take away. This refusal to surrender, this stubborn hope, this is your unfair advantage. The enemy thought he could break you by isolating you. He thought that if he took away your support system, you would crumble. But he forgot who your father is. You tapped into God mode. You started moving in a strength that was not your own. You started walking by faith, truly walking by faith, not just talking about it. You realized that all those years of pain were not wasted. They were a character development arc. God was forging steel in your spine. You were building receipts. Every tear you cried is recorded. Every prayer you whispered in the dark is recorded. Every time you chose to be kind when they were cruel, it was written down. And now you are standing at the threshold of vindication season. You have passed the 3 tests. You faced the darkness and did the shadow work. You chose integrity and proved you are a high-value individual. You refused to quit and showed the universe you are built different. This is why you feel different from everyone else. This is why you feel like an alien in your own family. You are. You are the seed that had to be buried in the dirt to grow. They thought they were burying you, but you were planted. Now, the season is changing. Can you feel it? We are moving from the test to the testimony. We are moving from the pressure to the promotion. You have been waiting for instant karma for the people who hurt you. You have been waiting for return to sender. You want to see justice. Listen to me, Fei-fo. You know what that means. They messed around and they are about to find out. But not because of your revenge, but because of God's justice. You have accrued karmic debt from them. They owe you, but God is going to pay you back, and He pays with infinite ROI. Infinite return on investment. For every tear, a river of joy. For every moment of shame, double honor. This is the glow-up. But it is not a glow-up of makeup and clothes. It is a glow-up of the Spirit. It is the glory of God rising upon you. You are about to see why you had to go through the wilderness. You are about to see why you had to face the lions and the bears alone. It was all training. It was all preparation. You are not a victim. You are a warrior who just survived boot camp. And now, the war is shifting. The tables are turning. You are about to experience the shift. So take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Look at your hands. Those hands have held too much pain, but they are about to hold a harvest. You pass the tests. The teacher was silent during the exam. But the exam is over. Get ready, because everything is about to change. Let's go a little deeper. We need to look at the history books, not the ones in the library. I am talking about the spiritual history books, the ones written on your heart. You see, for thousands of years, there have been three types of special souls: the warrior, the healer, and the mystic in the old days. If you were born with this spirit, if you were born with this kind of heavy calling, you would be taken away. You would go to a temple. You would go to a monastery high up in the mountains. You would sit in a cave in silence for 20 years. That was how they trained. That was how they got their power. They separated themselves from the noise of the world. But look at you. Look at your life. You did not get a monastery. You did not get a quiet cave. You did not get 20 years of silence. No. You got the noise, you got the chaos. You had to do your spiritual training in the real world. You were in the trenches. Your temple was the laundry room at 2 in the morning. Your altar was the kitchen table where you cried over unpaid bills. Your meditation was trying to stay calm while a toxic spouse screamed at you for no reason. And do you know what that means? It means your training was harder, much harder. Those monks in the mountains, they had peace, so they could find God. You had to find God in the middle of a war zone. You had to find peace when everything around you was falling apart. That is why you are the outlier. You didn't need a robe. You didn't need a title. Your life was the pressure testing ground. Every single day, you were being tested by fire. Think about the times you were on your knees, scrubbing the floor, or driving to work with tears in your eyes, begging God for a way out, begging for just a little bit of relief. You didn't realize it then, but you were achieving a quantum leap in your spirit while you were doing the dishes, while you were changing diapers, while you were dealing with that boss who hated you. You were downloading a massive spiritual update. You were learning patience that a monk would envy. You were learning forgiveness that a saint would struggle with. You were developing a top 1% mindset, not because you read a business book, but because you had to survive. You had no choice. You are built different. Most people would have folded. Most people would have become bitter. They would have let their hearts turn into stone. But you kept your heart soft, even when the world tried to crush it. That is your spiritual asset. It is worth more than gold. It is worth more than any house or any car. You have walked through the fire, and you did not smell like smoke. You might feel tired. I know. You feel like you have been fighting for decades. You feel like you are behind. You look at others and think, why is their life so easy? Why am I always struggling? Listen to me. They are playing a different game. They are playing on easy mode. You are playing in God mode. The challenge is bigger because the destiny is bigger. You were not called to be normal. You were not called to fit in. You were called to break the mold. You are the main character energy in a story that spans generations. You are the one who stops the curse. You are the one who says, "It ends with me. My children will not carry this pain. My grandchildren will not carry this poverty." That is why the training was so hard, because the assignment is so great. Now, we need to talk about the opposition. We need to talk about why it was so hard. We need to talk about the ops. You know who I am talking about. The people who came against you, the ones who made your life a living hell. Maybe it was a parent who could never say they were proud of you. Maybe it was a partner who made you feel small so they could feel big. Maybe it was a friend who smiled at your face but stabbed you in the back. Why did they do it? Why did they target you? For years, you thought it was your fault. You thought, if I were just prettier, if I whereas is just smarter, if I just cooked better, if I just prayed more, maybe they would love me. Stop that thinking right now. It had nothing to do with your weakness. It had everything to do with your light. These people, these energy vampires, they are empty inside. They are like shells. They have no light of their own. They are running on a battery that is dead. So when they saw you, when they saw your kindness, when they saw your resilience, when they saw that glowing on your spirit, they got hungry. They wanted to consume you. They wanted to take your energy to fill their own void. They acted like gatekeepers. They tried to block your blessings. They tried to stand in the doorway of your destiny and say, "You cannot pass." They were matrix agents. Their job was to keep you asleep. Their job was to keep you small. Because if you ever realize who you truly are, if you ever realize you're our power, you would be unstoppable. They operated on fear. SP specifically, the fear of death, the fear of being nothing. But look at what happened. They threw everything at you. They lied about you. They stole from you. They tried to ruin your reputation. They tried to isolate you from your family. And yet, you are still here. You are still standing. You broke their control mechanism. You looked at the fear, and you walked right through it. That was the moment you started breaking the cycle. They didn't realize who they were messing with. They thought you were just another victim. They didn't know you were a sleeping giant. They were just background characters in your movie. We call them NPCs, non-player characters. They were just there to test you. They were just there to facilitate your character development arc. Every stone they threw at you, you used it to build your castle. Every lie they told about you, God turned it into a testimony. You have to understand. The enemy does not attack empty houses. A thief does not break into a house that has nothing in it. The thief comes because there is treasure inside. The level of the attack reveals the level of your treasure. The fact that they came for you so hard, the fact that they tried to destroy you so completely, it proves one thing: you are a high-value individual in the spirit realm. You carry an anointing that makes demons tremble. That is why they couldn't leave you alone. Your light was burning their eyes. But here is the good news. Their time is up. You have survived the attacks. You have passed the tests. And now the dynamic is shifting. This is a timeline shift. The power they had over you is gone. The fear they used to control you is gone. You are entering a season of divine immunity. It is like a shield of fire around you. They can try to throw their darts, but the darts will just bounce off. You have the unfair advantage now, because God has seen the receipts. He has seen every single thing they did. He has seen every injustice, and He is the one who balances the books. So do not worry about revenge. Do not worry about getting even. Let God handle the karmic debt. You just focus on your healing. You focus on your rise. You focus on the fact that you made it out of the wilderness. You are the one who walked through the valley of the shadow of death, and you came out holding the keys. You are the warrior. You are the healer. You are the mystic. And you are finally free. Listen to me. I need you to lean in for this. There is a shift happening in the atmosphere right now. Can you feel it? For a long time, you felt like you were running out of time. You looked at the calendar. You looked at the mirror. You counted the gray hairs. You thought your best days were behind you. You thought the enemy had won. You thought the stress was going to take you out early. But I am here to deliver a message. A message from the throne room. The enemy tried to put an expiration date on your life. He tried to file your paperwork. He tried to say you were done. He tried to say you were too old, too tired, too broken to be used. But God took that file, and He deleted it. You have been marked with something rare, something ancient. We call this divine immunity. This does not mean you will live forever in this physical body. We all have to go home someday, but it means something much more powerful. It means you are untouchable until your assignment is complete. Do you understand what I am saying? No accident can touch you. No sudden illness can take you out before your time. No plot of the enemy can shorten your days. You are protected by the purpose of your life. You might be driving down the highway, and you see a crash right next to you, but you glide right past it. You might walk through a season of sickness where everyone around you is falling, but it will not come near your dwelling. This is your unfair advantage, while the world is panicking, while the world is running scared. You are walking in a bubble of grace. You have divine immunity against the stress that kills others. You have immunity against the bitterness that rots the bones. You are preserved. Think about Moses. At 120 years old, his eyes were not dim. His strength was not gone. Why? Because he had work to do. You have work to do. You are not just surviving anymore. You are being sustained by the Spirit. So stop worrying about your age. Stop worrying about the time you lost. Stop worrying about the years the locusts have eaten. God is not looking at a clock. He is looking at your heart. And as long as that heart is beating for Him, you are invincible. Your life is not an accident. And your end will not be an accident. You will finish this race. You will finish it strong. You will finish it with your head held high. Now we need to talk about justice. I know you have been waiting for this. I know you have cried out in the night, asking God why the wicked seem to prosper, asking why the people who hurt you seem to be doing just fine. You have been waiting for vindication season. Well, get your house ready, because the season is here. The universe is reorganizing itself around you. The angels are being dispatched with new orders. We are entering a time of return to sender. This is a spiritual law. It is as real as gravity. Everything that was sent to destroy you is now being turned around. It is boomeranging back to the source. The slander they spoke against your name, it is going back to them. The financial lack they tried to curse you with, it is going back to them. The confusion they tried to plant in your mind, it is going back to them. You do not have to lift a finger. You do not have to key their car. You do not have to write a nasty post on Facebook. Please hear me. You stay out of it. You keep your hands clean. God is saying, vengeance is mine, and He is very good at His job. You are about to see instant karma. But this isn't just random luck. This is divine correction. There is a saying on the streets right now. They call it FAFO. It means they messed around, and now they are about to find out. They messed with a daughter of the king. They messed with a chosen one. They didn't realize that you have a backup. They didn't realize that you are covered by the blood. They thought you were weak because you were quiet. They are about to learn that your silence was dangerous. This is purpose protection. Anyone who tries to stop you now, anyone who tries to block your blessing, they are going to find themselves fighting against God Himself, and that is a battle they cannot win. The locusts are being driven back into the sea. God is restoring the years. He is restoring the finances. He is restoring the joy. You are about to see a harvest that you didn't even plant. You are going to reap where you didn't sow. This is the infinite ROI, the infinite return on investment for all your suffering. So when you see the people who hurt you starting to stumble, do not gloat, do not celebrate, just pray for them, because they are going to need it. They are dealing with the consequences of touching God's anointed. You just keep walking forward. You keep your eyes on the prize. The curse has been broken. The spell has been lifted. Return to sender is active, and your mailbox is full of blessings. And finally, the third mark of this new level, absolute, total, freedom from fear. You remember the old you, the one who woke up with a knot in her stomach, the one who checked her bank account with trembling hands, the one who was afraid of a phone call. That woman is gone. You have undergone a complete system update. The reptilian brain, that part of your mind that is always scanning for danger, that part that lives in survival mode, it has been quiet. You are now operating in God mode. Do you know what God mode is? It is when you play a video game and your character cannot be hurt. You can walk through fire, you can walk through walls, nothing can stop you. That is how you are moving in the spirit now. You are walking through the matrix. You see the lies, you see the fear-mongering on the news, you see the panic in the grocery store. But it does not touch you. You are in the world, but you are not of it. You look at a bill that you can't pay, and instead of panic, you feel peace. You say, God provides, and He does. You look at a bad medical report, and instead of fear, you feel power. You say, by His stripes I am healed, and you are. You have transcended the petty fears of this world. You realize that you are a spiritual being, having a human experience. You realize that this life is just a temporary school. This confidence, this quiet authority, it drives the enemy crazy. He tries to scare you, but you don't flinch. He tries to intimidate you, but you just laugh. You have the top 1% mindset, the mindset of a conqueror. You know the end of the story. You have read the back of the book. And guess what? We win, you win. So walk with your head up, walk with your shoulders back. You are not that scared little girl anymore. You are a matriarch. You are a pillar of fire. You have divine immunity. You have protection. And you have no fear. The wilderness is behind you. The promised land is in front of you. Step into it. Step into your power. This is your time. This is your season. Receive it. Let's take a moment to breathe, just you and me, right here in this quiet space. I want you to look at your life right now. Really look at it, not with the eyes of the past where everything was broken, but with the eyes of the present. You might still feel tired, and heaven knows you have every right to be exhausted after what you have been through. But if you look closely, something is different. There has been a shift. A subtle but undeniable change in the atmosphere around you. You are not the same woman you were a year ago, and you are certainly not the same person who started this journey in the wilderness. You have been marked by God, touched by a transformation that goes deeper than bone and marrow. This isn't about an explosion of fireworks or a marching band announcing your arrival. It is quieter than that, and it is far more powerful. There are signs, tangible evidence that the spiritual war is ending, and you are the one standing on the battlefield with the flag of victory. I'm going to walk you through these signs, and as I do, I want you to feel them in your spirit, because I believe you will realize that the miracle you have been praying for has already started to bloom inside of you. The first sign is perhaps the most profound, and for many, it is the most surprising change of all. It is the neutrality of death. For most of your life, like the rest of the world, the idea of death might have been a source of terror, a dark unknown that kept you awake at night or made you cling too tightly to things that didn't matter. But lately, something massive has shifted in your psychology, a complete system update of your deepest fears. When you think about the end of this life now, you don't feel panic, and you don't feel that desperate grasping for more time. Instead, you feel a strange, abiding peace. This is not because you want to leave, for you love your life and you cherish the beauty of the world, but rather because you have realized that you are just a traveler passing through a temporary station. You have lost the fear of the grave because you finally know, deep in your gut, who holds the keys to your soul. You look at the news with its wars and its rumors of wars. You see the chaos that makes the rest of the world tremble. And while they are running around in a panic, you are steady. You are calm. You are operating in God mode, looking at the timeline of eternity and realizing that you are safe, you are held, and you are eternal. This neutrality is the ultimate freedom. The proof that the Matrix agents and their fear tactics can no longer touch you. Have you noticed what happens when you walk into a room lately, specifically with the innocent ones? I am talking about the animals and the children. It is almost comical how the cat that scratches everyone else seems to find its way immediately to your lap, purring as if it has known you for 1,000 years. Have you noticed how the dog at the park pulls against its leash just to get close to you, just to brush against your leg? These creatures have spiritual sight. They see frequencies and energies that human eyes have become too blind to witness, and they see the light pouring off of you. They are drawn to your main character energy, not because you are loud, but because you are safe. It is the same with the grandchildren or even the babies of strangers in the grocery store. They stare at you with wide eyes, they stop their crying when you are near, and they reach out their little hands to touch you. They are sensing the spiritual asset you carry, a reservoir of peace that acts like a warm blanket in a cold, noisy world. While the energy vampires are repelled by your light because it burns them, the innocent are magnetized to it because it heals them. You have become a walking sanctuary, a refuge for the pure of heart, and this is a clear confirmation that your spirit has been cleansed and upgraded. Then there is the mirror, and this is where things get truly interesting. I know you have scars, and I know the years have left their mark in the form of wrinkles and grey hairs, which are the receipts of your survival. But look closer at your reflection. People have been looking at you lately, haven't they? They have been asking you what skin cream you are using, if you changed your hair, or if you've been losing weight. They tell you that you look different, that you look younger, that there is a vibrancy about you that wasn't there before. This is the glow up, but it has nothing to do with the superficial beauty standards of the world. This is the anointing of God seeping through your pores. This is what happens when you finally drop the heavy baggage of other people's expectations and other people's sins. You are physically manifesting the spiritual peace you have fought so hard to attain. The stress that used to contort your face is gone, replaced by the glory of a woman who knows she is a high-value individual in the kingdom of heaven. You are aging backwards because your soul is finally free to breathe, and that inner light is smoothing out the rough edges of your physical form. For years you lived in a fog of confusion, surrounded by the gaslighting of toxic people who wanted to keep you off balance. You couldn't trust your own mind, you second-guessed every decision, and you constantly looked to others for validation. But that season is over. The fourth sign is absolute razor-sharp clarity. You wake up in the morning and you know exactly what to do. You know who to trust, and more importantly, you can spot a snake in the grass before it even slithers. Your discernment has been sharpened into a weapon. You can look at a person and instantly know if they are a gatekeeper trying to block you or a divine connection sent to help you. You don't need to ask for permission anymore. You make decisions with the confidence of a general on the battlefield because you are tapped into the source. This is the top 1% mindset taking the wheel of your life. The doubt is gone. The wavering is gone. You simply know, and that knowing is the voice of God speaking directly to your spirit without the interference of fear.